Today I'm going to review the Thypoch Simera 28mm f1.4 full-frame lens for the Nikon Z mount on my favorite retro-inspired camera, the Nikon Zf. These two make a great travel and street photography setup. I already reviewed a couple of Thypoch lenses and they are all so well built, and so is the 28mm f1.4 Simera. You just have to hold one to feel and see how well it is built. It is always a joy to go out or travel with one of these lenses. The lens is made from metal, the mount is metal, but it doesn't have any weather sealing or a rubber gasket. The focus ring is metal and it turns smoothly. It is so satisfying to use. It has a decent focus throw, so it is easy to achieve focus at f1.4. It also has an infinity focus lock. The aperture ring is made from metal and it has clicks, but here is the cool thing, it can also be declicked with this switch here in case you want to use this lens for video. Regarding video, this lens has a bit of focus breathing, not the worst I've seen on a lens. The markings are beautifully engraved, every inch of this lens screams premium build. There is also a built-in focus scale that is not just a gimmick, but it takes time to get used to it. The lens hood is also very nice. Nikon Zf users are going to be very happy with its square shape. The cap is also nice, but it comes off too easy sometimes. This happens with most lens caps that have this design. I used the footage from the 50mm f1.4 Simera because I don't have the lens hood for this one. The minimum focus distance is 40 cm, but more on this later. The filter thread is 49mm. The optical structure is 11 elements in 7 groups. It has 14 aperture blades and it weighs 368 grams. Now let's talk about image quality. I want to start with color rendition because I love how colors look in photos on my Nikon Zf. Just look at these photos taken in the beautiful village of Cudiero, Spain. The colors from the Thypoch lenses are some of my favorites so far from any lens I used on the Nikon Zf. They have a vintage vibe with beautiful contrast. The image quality is good in the center starting from f1.4, but don't expect miracles. This lens was made to have a vintage look and that means it is not going to be clinically sharp. That being said, it has a nice balance between vintage look, good sharpness and contrast, like a modern lens. So the center at f1.4 has a good amount of details and contrast, but the corners are just a bit softer. At f2.8 the center looks even better, so do the corners, and at f4 you get good sharpness and contrast from corner to corner. Regarding chromatic aberrations, this is what you get at f1.4. I think this is a decent amount and it is easy to correct in post. When it comes to LOCA, longitudinal chromatic aberrations, they are visible at f1.4. At f2.8 you can still see a bit and they go away at f4. Also, you get a bit of vignetting wide open, but it goes away if you stop down to f4. You know, I love sunstars, and the 14-blade diaphragm delivers beautiful sunstars starting with f5.6. They look great at f8 and amazing at f10. So you can use this lens for some cityscapes or long exposure night shots. The bokeh of the lens is nice and the transition from in focus to out of focus is smooth, no weird blooming and no harsh edges. You can also see a nice swirl, but if you are farther from your subject, it can get a bit busy. You get some flares wide open, but they don't lower contrast that much, and they look great in my opinion. The minimum focus distance is 40 cm as I said earlier, not the best for a 28mm lens. The image quality is good in the center, starting with f1.4. If you want the best results, stop down to f2.8. Because of the color rendition and character, this lens is also good for video. You can get some beautiful looking footage as you can see here. Overall, a great lens in my opinion, from its build quality to its great mix between vintage look and sharpness. Like most Thypoch lenses, the contrast and micro contrast is stunning on the Nikon Zf. Everything about this lens is magic, and just like the other Thypoch lenses I reviewed, I always want to take this lens with me outside or on my travels. So, if you are looking for a 28mm f1.4 lens with character that is still sharp, I highly recommend the Thypoch Simera 28mm f1.4 for Nikon Z cameras. If this video was helpful, subscribe. This is very important for the channel to grow and reach more brands, so I can make more videos for you to watch. And if you want to support the channel even more, use the affiliate links in the description at no extra cost to you. Thank you for watching, see you next time.